Hey, what's happening, all you pony heads out there? I'm Duuz-Diz-Din, and I'm coming at you with another episode review of My Little Pony Friendship is Magic, episode 12 of season 9, titled The Last Crusade. Now, this is a long awaited episode, as we've been waiting season upon season to finally find Scootaloo's parents. And that time is finally here. But on top of that, we actually get to know what Scootaloo's home life is in general, as one character, Skedaddle, comes racing to Scootaloo's home in order to tell the CMC that, oh man, you helped me find my special talent. You helped me get my cutie mark, which is in knot tying. And it's because of all the various things they had him do. That's the really special talent of the CMC. It's just being willing to go out there for other ponies in order to help them just do everything that they can and anything they can in order to find that special ability. And, we also get to see two characters who have been periodically taking care of Scootaloo. Basically, Scootaloo's dad's, sister, in order to clarify that, his Aunt Holiday, as her Aunt Holiday, as well as her Aunt Lofty, who, as isn't really clarified in the episode, but is clarified by the writer of this episode. Well, not just the writer herself, but also because these two characters showed up in a actual My Little Pony book, Ponyville Mysteries. And in that book, we had the two writers, Michael Vogel and Nicole Dubuc. Nicole Dubuc wrote this episode, and Michael Vogel clarified in his, on his Twitter that these two characters, when they first appeared there, were a couple. The first, gay couple in MLP that were clearly defined. A lot of people like to kind of allude to Lyra and Bon Bon, as well as Octavia and Vinyl Scratch. But this is the first time we've had clear clarification from specific characters. And with this, we actually get to see that they periodically come in to see Scootaloo and take care of her. But they still have their own home that they go to from time to time. So Scootaloo actually is taken care of by various characters in Ponyville here and there. She kind of moves around a bit. She's kind of a latchkey kid for the most part. She has this home that she can go to from time to time, but because of her parents traveling and exploring and doing these various things, they're not home often enough. And with that, Scootaloo kind of gets moved around a lot. But she seems to appreciate that for the most part. But honestly, Sweetie Belle and Apple Bloom are actually kind of taken with Holiday and Lofty. Lofty, who does quilts and stitchings and all that stuff, and Holiday, who does a lot of baking and stuff. So it's always a nice time at Scootaloo's house. However, Scootaloo then receives a postcard that was meant for Holiday and Lofty, which actually had a postcard from her parents saying that they would be coming home for the first time in years. I've kind of tracked how long this series has gone on in world, and it's been at least a minimum of 3 to 4 years since she's seen her parents. And she even announces it at their school, as they've planned to show up there for show and tell. And she explains that her parents' thing is going from different various locations here and there, dangerous locations, which is why she never went with her parents. And they explore, they find new different studies and stuff along those lines in order to kind of help the pony community and creatures at large. naturally, Snips is kind of, mocks Scootaloo, saying, nah, your parents don't do all that kind of cool stuff, only for Crocodile to come in and start tearing up the schoolhouse, which then gets wrestled to the ground by Scootaloo's dad, Snap Shutter, who is a very Crocodile Dundee, Steve Irwin-esque character. And we also see her mom, which is who is named Maine Allgood, which is a parody of the name Jane Goodall, a researcher in the world of animals and various stuff like along those lines. So, deep mythology in terms of exploration, animal preservation, and stuff like that. Pioneers in the world of nature for the most part. And Scootaloo introduces her parents to the class, and then her parents takes the CMCs out on this little, a nice little cupcake run for the most part to just discuss things. And Scootaloo gets to tell her family about the various things she's done in Ponyville. But, when Scootaloo asks whether or not they'll actually be staying in Ponyville for a while, they do say that they'll be together from here going forward. However, their way of actually saying that they'll be together is in the fact that they will actually be, moving away to a specific location. I forget where it was, but some, far away. Shire Lanka, because of all the various events in Ponyville with the rise of King Sombra and all that stuff. They felt that it would be best to be together, no longer, being away from their daughter. But, that means Scootaloo will no longer be in Ponyville. And, they're desperate not to be broken up, but, this is Scootaloo's parents. What they say is final. And they find that, ultimately they'll still be friends. They can visit once a month. There's always a train from Shire Lanka to Ponyville, so they'll be able to visit at least once a month. But that's not really good enough. And, while her parents don't seem to really understand how desperate they are, that kind of becomes the crux of things, because her parents don't seem to really understand just how dire their relationship is and their depths of their closeness. And when Rainbow Dash comes in with some tickets to a Wonderbolt performance, she overhears things and just like, well, why don't you show them just how close you are? Ultimately, the Cutie Mark Crusaders never say die. They never give up. That's your thing. Always going that extra mile. So don't give up now. So they start to plan and, plot, various ways to show Scootaloo's parents that the Cutie Mark Crusaders should never be separated. And they come up with a plan in order to keep them there, using the fact that they, find various different exotic and dangerous animals. So, they CMC put on this showing that there's a dangerous unknown animal within the Everfree Forest. And, while the parents end up tracking it, is ultimately just Sweetie Belle and Apple Bloom in this little costume, which easily gets wrecked and reveals that it's just the two little girls inside. And, Scootaloo's parents just brush it off and say, oh, you need to hurry up and pack so we can leave in a few days. But Scootaloo leaves some pictures of the CMC's cutie marks lying around, saying that it's for a magazine, and it uses it to show that their cutie marks are very similar, showing that they're kind of like a match set and they shouldn't be separated. But then Scootaloo's dad, Snap Shutter, makes the argument that, hey, well, if your cutie marks are very similar but also very different, there's various different emblems within the emblems, which shows that more than likely, despite the fact that you might be apart, you'll always have this bond that'll keep you going throughout things. Which Scootaloo's just like, well, I can't really argue against that. But then Apple Bloom comes in with this potion she created at Zecora's place, which we haven't seen Zecora in a long time, honestly, but is a potion to bind them together. And then they dab it on their hooves, but it literally binds them together, which is just like, yeah, this isn't really the way to go. So they go to Zecora's and have her dispel it. But they start to kind of run out of time. So they resort to chaining themselves to the for sale side. However, the real estate agent just kind of pulls up the stake as it's already been sold. It kind of defeats the whole purpose of chaining themselves to it. And while Apple Bloom gives this whole impassioned speech about just being together and how they should never be separated and all that, her parents just kind of say, "Oh well, that's for now. You'll be able to move on after we actually get there." But Scootaloo gets upset as her parents just show that they're not really willing to listen to her and just understand that they're kind of destroying a good thing here for the most part. But they say with time she'll understand, they'll still be able to visit and all that, but Scootaloo just kind of runs away, just feeling very saddened. And as time kind of runs up, Scootaloo basically kind of gives it in and gives in the towel and all that, headed to the train station. But Apple Bloom still has one last plan, one last trick, and that's to just run away together to head off to. Well, honestly, Scootaloo was already doing this before. She was going to head off to her Auntie Holiday and Lofty's place, and Scootaloo and Apple Bloom decide. Well, Sweetie Belle and Apple Bloom decide to go with her in order to just kind of stay together, and feeling that their older sisters would understand why they're doing this, because it's that closeness, that's that bond, and it's what Applejack and Rarity would do as well in order to be together with their friends. So they head over to Holiday and Lofty's place, and they're actually kind of surprised to see them there, but are happy nonetheless, having shown that ultimately Lofty decided on a CMC themed quilt to just to honor the Cutie Mark Crusaders, in order to show them that the appreciation that a lot of people in Ponyville have for him. But Scootaloo explains the situation, which comes to a surprise to Holiday because they never got that postcard. But they feel that ultimately, since this is what the Scootaloo's parents decided on, the best way in order to dissuade them from going forward with this is probably to show off how much they mean to Ponyville, which gives Apple Bloom an idea as to how to actually show what actually makes the Cutie Mark Crusaders an inseparable team, an inseparable pair, just by it's a nice little plan. It's a nice little tribute just to show just how deep the CMC's involvement in terms of Ponyville actually goes. And Scootaloo returns home to be with her parents. This is the last day before their train departs. She goes and brings them to a celebration in the town square, one all dedicated to the CMC, with various different ponies they've helped. Well, not just ponies, various creatures in general that the CMC have helped throughout the various seasons, which goes to show just how great of an episode this is. It really shows and just pushes forward the idea that the CMC have helped so many different people ever since they got their Cutie Mark in season 4. They've done nothing but be good, altruistic, helpful, and kind to others, and that really shows here. As Rainbow Dash is like, hey, it's CMC Appreciation Day, and it's a big celebration that we couldn't do without Scootaloo. And the mayor even gives a speech. The mayor who we haven't seen in a good while, but goes on to say that the CMC have done nothing but help, be there for others, and push forward just being kind and making Ponyville a better place. And she presents the three horseshoe key to the city to the CMC for all that they've done. And there's even a wonderful display and a little celebration where they even form their mark in the sky, which really drives home just how important the CMC are to Ponyville, with even Holiday going in to say just like they've made Ponyville a better place with all that they've done, all the people that they've helped. And we even have Skedaddle just come in and say how thankful he is to the CMC for actually helping him to find his cutie mark, helping him to find something that he was good at and enjoyed and just loved doing. And Rainbow Dash says they've helped every single pony in Ponyville at least once. And we also have Gabby, as well as Zipper, what you call it, completely blanking on his name, but Gabby and the one hippogriff brother show up and say, hey, they've helped other creatures as well. Just really going out there and being friends and helping them to just enjoy their lives for the most part. They've also helped other ponies just kind of embrace their hearts. Big Mac and his love, and Diamond Tiara and the whole situation with her. They've really pushed forward helpfulness and friendship and love and passion for other ponies. And at first it kind of seems like Scootaloo's parents are still just telling her to come along and, we're gonna depart Ponyville, which, Rainbow Dash fights up against, but ultimately her parents decide just like, look, we get it, we're not that dense, we understand that you have an important job just like we do, you're so much like us, you found something that you're truly passionate about and you would give up anything to be with, to do. And even if that means we don't get to completely see our little girl grow up, this is something you care about and are passionate about. And we see that now. And we will allow you to basically stay in Ponyville if that's what you've chosen. Which, brings a lot of joy to the whole group here. And, when it's even explained that, Auntie Holiday explains that while Scootaloo's parents did still sell off their house, Holiday and Lofty actually bought the house in order to, be there. Because Ponyville's be such a great place, they decided to move there full time just so that they could help Scootaloo have a place to stay in town permanently. No more just going from house to house, from caretaker to caretaker. She'd actually have a permanent residence and people to actually look after her. And her parents vowed to visit at least once a month, not years on end, in order to actually see their child, and not just be away for so long, because, their previous journey wasn't really of their own want. They actually wanted to be there a little bit more often. It's just that a lot of trouble and traveling and all that good stuff. But the CMC are overjoyed to have their one member still there with them, because they're a package set no matter what. And the celebration goes on with an overjoyed CMC in the middle and all the various friends and people that they've helped and all the various creatures that they've helped to realize what they want to do with their lives and just what passions them and brings them forward and all that good stuff. And it's a great ending just to show that how much they actually mattered. And even if this is the very last CMC centered episode, it was a great one, at least to me. And it really showed just how many various different creatures they've gone out of their way for, how much they've done, how much of better characters that they've been. Honestly, being introduced to Scootaloo's parents kind of took a bit of a back burner here, because it was all about just how good the CMC are at just being good people. in general, and years of them just doing good things. Ever since season 4, midway through season 4, they shifted their entire dynamic to just helping other creatures, and they deserve this. They've done a lot to deserve this, and I'm grateful for this episode because it's a wonderful send off to the CMC. And I'm so thankful for the writing staff for doing this. I'm so glad that this is the story that Nicole Duboc decided to go with, because it was a wonderful send off to the CMC if this is their final episode. But tell me your thoughts in the comments section below. How do you feel about this being the final send off of the CMC? Do you think it was a great one, or would you have preferred something else? And how did you feel about the introduction of Scootaloo's parents? Were you okay with the way that they were brought in and how they kind of, for the most part, tried to uproot their life? But that's what parents kind of do. They tend not to understand just the depths of how important, a friendship like this could truly be, and how it could shape Scootaloo going forward. Sometimes finding a compromise for your child is probably the best way to go in order to keep them, having a positive environment to grow up in. And there's no more positive environment than Ponyville. Again, tell me your thoughts in the comments section below. If you liked this video, leave me a like. If you didn't, because I was kind of all over the place, I literally just woke up and I need to go back to bed, but I was all over the place. And if you felt that was a game breaker for you, just feel free to give me a dislike and tell me what I did wrong in the comment section below. But if you want to follow me, subscribe and hit the bell icon. That way you never miss out on the last few episodes of MLP and any reviews of those. And Google me on Duuz-Diz-Din. Google Duuz-Diz-Din in order to find me on social media. That way you can find me everywhere. I am everywhere, for better or for worse. Shield your children's eyes. And until the next video, just remember that the bonds of friendship should always be allowed to keep you together, no matter what. Because honestly, if you make each other better, then there is no greater justice than staying together. Until next time, I'm Duuz-Diz-Din, and I think it's time for me to go to bed. Bye-bye.